Hi Aquarius, this is Carrie at wooing-nature.life. Welcome to August, the 8th month of the year. I am going to be reading today from the Soul Cards. I'm going to pull one card from the Soul Cards by Deborah Koff Chapin, just to kind of give us some direction and some focus for August. And then I'm going to follow up to get further direction from the Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reed. And then for your tarot, I will be reading from the Tarot Illuminati. So we'll start out with the Soul Cards for a focus for Aquarius for the month of August. All right, Aquarius, it looks like to me you're walking away, you're changing, you're transforming, you're leaving some things behind, and you are looking forward to a new day, a new territory. Some of you guys may be moving, some of you are changing jobs, some of you are changing directions. But whatever that change is, it is transformative in nature, and you have to release the spirit in order to be able to make that happen. You're going to want to look forward to the fall. So August is the last month before we go into the fall month toward the end of September. So toward the fall is when you're going to start to see the evidence of the work that you're going to be doing in August. And in August, it's all about letting go, releasing to spirit, and also focusing on what's ahead of you, not what's behind you. You truly got to let it go. For some of you, I'm seeing moth energy. Moth energy is kind of like butterfly energy as far as transformation is concerned. But the moth energy, the moth is a nighttime creature. It's a nocturnal creature, which means that you're going to be dealing with your shadow or dark side energy. Now, when I say dark side energy, I ain't talking about dark magic or black magic or stuff like that. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is those things that have been hidden from your view, or the things that you have been hiding, because anytime you're hiding, you're not operating in the light. You're operating in the shadow, or you're operating in the dark, right? Anytime you're masking, right, you're operating in the shadow, or you're operating not in your full light. In other words, things are not on the table. You're not being forthwith. Or it could be that well, something else I was going to say when I was saying that about things ain't on the table. Anyway, it's you're working with shadow work, or you're either working with the darker sides of yourself. So be prepared for that. All right, I have moved right on to the Enchanted Map. The Enchanted Map, I'm pulling 3 cards for the Enchanted Map for Aquarius to give them further direction about what to do about this transformation that's happening. They're telling me to say it again about the moth energy, because the moth is helps you deal with your shadow and with the dark, okay? So we've got a 44. 44 breaks down to an 8. That's appropriate for the 8th month of this year. It's about strength, being able to balance and finding your own balance. It's not about having to wear the weight of the world on your shoulder. It really is about giving away, releasing, finding the wealth that's inside of yourself, finding that lush territory that exists inside of yourself. And when you do that shadow work, you're going to see that. The second card up, which is a 25 that breaks down to a 7, is the metamorphosis. So this just confirms what we got from the soul cards, that there's a transformation happening here. And that transformation is going to bring 2 sides of your being together, the dark and the light. Dark and light meaning that which you know, that you're aware of, and that you're clear about, and that you don't feel any kind of shame about, or you're not trying to hide it for any reason. And do know this: sometimes the dark things aren't the things that you're just afraid of or ashamed of, or that bring fear, or that you're fearful of within inside of yourself. Well, it is the things that you're fearful of inside yourself, but it's not always bad things, because sometimes what's lurking in the dark is something really, really, really good about you that you haven't owned, or that you haven't gotten in touch with, or that somebody might have tried to squelch or push down in you from an early age that you don't even know you have. It could be gifts of the Spirit or gifts that God has given you that somebody tried to, take out of you with their words or with their criticisms or their condemnations of who you were, that you then put all the way in the back burner and pretended like they weren't there. So, anyway, you're going to get a chance to see what that is. It could be negative or perceived as negative or positive, but either way it goes, you have to be able to own both sides in order to really be able to make the changes that you want. And then the third card here is Spirit of Place. That's an interesting card. Again, I'm getting the fall for you as being your awakening time. So some of you might want to do something around the fall solstice in September, but we'll get to that later. We've got a number 4 here again. 40 and 4, 4 and 4, breaking down to an 8 with the strength card. And then the 4, representative of foundations, is the Spirit of Play. So for some of you, you are going to be moving. You're actually going to be moving to a new location because there's a place that's calling you that needs you. There's a new location for you. Could be a new job, like I said, but whatever this place is, this new place that you're going to, it's there because that's what you have to do in order to grow. Like you have to go to this new place in order to get out of your comfort zone. Again, we're leaving things behind. So it could be for some of you, it's where you are, like your environment or the people you're around, the environment that you're in is keeping you in that same place. And I'm seeing that especially for those people who where their good stuff has been squelched or their good stuff is the part that's in the dark. It's like the environment that you're around. It could be that you're around people from your past. It could be that some of you are outgrowing the people or the place of your past, and it's time for you to stretch your wings so that you can grow. You got to fly. You got to get out of there because the place itself is pulling on you. That's what I'm getting. The place itself is pulling on some of you. That can happen. Like sometimes people say, well, it shouldn't matter where you are. You're right about that. You wherever you go, there you are. You ever heard that saying? Wherever you go, there you are. So for people who are running from something, that's good messages. But there's also times when where you are keeps you in a certain mindset, and you have to get out and see something different. Because if you don't get out and see something different, you think that the whole world is a gnat box. The world is not a gnat box. It's much bigger than that. So you have to go and see that. And that's going to be transformative in and of itself. All right, we're moving right along. We know there's a change happening. We know there's a move happening. And we also know that you're being strengthened for that move. We also know that fall is a time when you can expect to see for the actual move to happen. But August is the preparation. All right, we're going to the tarot now. Tarot, give me some messages for my people, my Aquarius people. We got the 4 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles. 4 of Wands represents marriages. 9 of Pentacles represents harvest. It represents the journey that is taken for you to get to this point where you have sight, where you are adorned of your spirit. That's what it said. It said you have to be adorned of your spirit. Now, what does that mean, being adorned of your spirit? That means that who you are, how you move, your vestiture is going to represent who you are in the spirit realm. And it comes from getting out of your safe space. It comes from getting away from your safe space. or the place of security and comfort. Now, how this marriage card falls into this, I'm not quite sure yet, but we're going to keep looking for the answer there. It could be that the commitment that you've been in has been what you have been committed to, because marriage is about marriage, but it's also about commitment. So it could be that the commitments that you have made or what you have been committed to, you have to move away from because it represents security, but not security in yourself. Some of you guys are moving away from a commitment or a marriage. Some of you might be separating from your spouse or something like that. We have the Queen of Swords here. This is about being discerning. The Queen of Swords is discerning. And not only is she discerning, she also knows how to protect her boundary or to set a boundary. You have to have your own rules and your own rules of order now because you are moving away from that safe security zone, which means you're going to have to protect your emotional space. And the Queen of Swords is going to help you protect your emotional space. Sometimes when we're making moves and we are making transitions or we're walking away from something, you get a lot of criticism or you get a lot of opinions from the outside world about what it is that you're doing when you and your spirit know what you got to do. So then you have to put a hedge of protection around yourself. And the best way for you to put a hedge of protection around yourself is to, one, pray and ask for a hedge of protection. And then you have to know how to keep people out of your cipher. That's going to put chinks in your armor. Because you're going to need it. Aquarius, you're going to need that. Anytime you're going through a transition, you have to protect your space because you're in between. That's why people say you need somebody to stand in the gap for you. Somebody that you trust to help you stand in the gap. There's the Ace of Swords there again. You got the Queen of Swords, then you got the Ace of Swords. So in other words, the Queen of Swords, your discerning self, your spirit of discernment has its implements. It has its tools. It has its rules, its laws, its own rules, laws, and order. And so that rule and that law and that order have to be kept. And in order for the rule, the law, and order to be kept, for you to move through this transition, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to set the pace. You're going to have to set the rules. You know what? If you're going to call me to criticize me, then I'm going to get off the phone with you. I need to do this for myself. In order for me to do this for myself, and in order for me to get the strength that I need to carry on in my life, okay, I don't need the outside chatter. So I'm going to ask you to, savor your opinion for another time or for someone else. See, that's the way that's how the Queen of Swords will handle it. You know what? Not only do I not really appreciate your opinion, but right now I don't need it because I have to focus on my own inner voice. I have to hear my own inner voice. So when you're talking in my left ear, it's competing with my set it off in the right. Okay? Thank you, Outcast. All right, so we have the Eight of Pentacles, meaning you are working, you are refining, you're fine-tuning, followed by the Three of Wands in reverse. And the Three of Wands usually is when you have set your sights on a new place or a new location. Here we go about this spirit of place here. Okay. And that is in reverse. So before you head to your new place, which I think is really what's going to happen in the fall for you, then you have some fine tuning to do. There's still some work that needs to be done as far as, what I just said, having those rules in order and setting your boundaries and knowing how to communicate with people what it is that you are and are not going to tolerate while you're in transition. You get to say that, not somebody else. Now, somebody else can't tell you that. You have to tell you that. Okay, spirits, we thank you for the messages that you've given us so far. Please help us. Give us any other guidance for the month of August for my Aquarian friends. Any other guidance for Aquarius for the month of August? Okay, short and sweet. Short and sweet. It's as simple as this. You're in transition. You're in good order for the transition. You're preparing yourself for a move in the fall. You have your tools. You just need to set the boundaries, set the parameters. You are going to dig deep inside of yourself and deal with any kind of issues around security and safety that have kept you where you have been so far, and you're releasing that, and you're releasing to spirit. That's what it's all about. So I hope that this is good for you. If you have to go a little deeper, if you want to dig a little deeper into your personal self, if you want to bring this right on home to you, you can reach out to me. I'll be happy to give you a personal reading. I am at Kerri, Kerri, at wooing-nature.life. As always, I hope you have a great August, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.